What's up, guys? MurderofBirds here, and after watching Naruto Shippuden episode 338, I'm pretty safe to say that the moral of the episode is if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it, and that is an Izanami reference. So this episode was it was filler. We didn't get this in the manga, but it was very informative. The substance within the episode does go in grave detail about Izanami and Izanagi respectively, and how each one of them is used, and how one is used to combat the other. So I really did enjoy this episode. We got to see some fodder each Uchiha that, granted, we don't know anything about them. It's just the fact that, it's good to see some other Uchiha in the play besides Sasuke, Itachi, and Madara and stuff like that. But anyways, the contents of the episode, Izanami, we find out a bit more about. We found out a lot. We found out everything about it, how it works, how Itachi, presumes it to work. And pretty much it's like, it's a recording, pretty much. You have to take a moment, you have to capture a moment and record it of you yourself, the caster, as well as, the person you're using it on. And you have to capture the physical essence of both you and the person that you're using it on, and reiterate, multiple sequences to form a loop. So it comes back around full circle, and that's how the infinite loop is formed. In the manga, it was really confusing for me to find out. I had to watch different reviews on it because personally, it was really confusing for me. But the manga definitely, compared to the anime did it a lot better. The anime did a lot better of interpreting how it works. Giving you visual accompaniment along with explanations from Itachi, so I thought that was pretty cool. And we get the history of the Uchiha using Izanagi, the fact that, this jutsu is the most powerful, at the time, the most powerful, perfect visual prowess jutsu of the Uchiha clan. And that really went to some Uchiha's heads. They figured, hey, I'm a power hungry Uchiha, and, pretty much they couldn't respectively use, they couldn't use the Izanami responsibly, and they ended up having inter-clan rivalries amongst their, their kins. So I thought that was really weird. It's like, you're an Uchiha, why are you killing other Uchihas to claim that you're the best Uchiha? You're in a clan, you should be working together, not killing each other, and then using Izanagi. And I figured, Izanagi doesn't even really have that much benefits. It's like, okay, you can use Izanagi once. Unless you want to go blind in both eyes, the only advantage you have is using it once. Whereas Danzo was the biggest example of someone who abused the hell out of it. He had 10 Sharingans in his arm, and he used that 10 times and still died. So it's like, these Uchiha really didn't have that much, advantage in terms of Izanagi, just because they could only use it once, and if they fucked up that time, then they're screwed. But yeah, so we got that. We got the reason why Izanami came into play. And we finally get a female Uchiha, other than Sasuke's mom, who has Sharingan. And I think all of these Uchiha have Mangekyo Sharingan, because they all have the shapes and not just the totems on each the 3 totems. So I figured they all have Mangekyo, so they've either lost someone really close to them or freaking off their best friend or whatever. So I thought that was really weird. But this female Uchiha is the first one that we've ever seen, demonstrate and use Izanami in the same way that Itachi used it. We see right off the bat, if you could interpret how she used Izanami compared to how Itachi used Izanami, it's pretty clear that, this is for offending, people who used and abused the Izanagi. And I thought that was really cool how she used it the same way Itachi used it on Kabuto. And what really stuck out to me was the escape route. And I already had this in my mind a bit, that acceptance is how you break, the loop. And, I really like how they expressed that if you did break the loop, and they showed it in the Uchiha flashback, that, the jutsu will be rendered useless, and reality will continue as it goes. However, for Kabuto is just stuck in this mindset that he has these false pretenses about himself. He doesn't accept himself for who he is. He always wants to be better. He's seeking perfection. He's accepting false truths and impersonation. He's trying to be he's Kabuto, and he's trying to be Orochimaru. He's trying, to be perfect and wants to know everything about everything, and that's just not who he is. He's Kabuto. There's a limitation to what he can and can't do. And that's why I felt such pity for him this episode. Going back into the loop, he's just wondering. He's like, why the hell is this happening? This is impossible. This shouldn't have happened to me. And it's just like, dude, it's so close, but so far away for him to just instantly break this jutsu and just give up on everything. You could easily go back to your life. You can go back to your life of going to bed at 9 o'clock along with everybody else in the orphanage. And that's what really pulled at my heartstrings a lot this episode. I felt such pity. I felt so sad for Kabuto. And, you know, when he was saying that, you know, he wants to be acknowledged and he wants to be appreciated. And, you know, he was truly sincere about that. He, you know, you can see it in his expressions and, you know, his gestures and stuff like that. And what really made me sympathetic was the fact that we get this scene of, you know, somewhere these fodder ninja and Irushi from the orphanage. And he's saying, hey, I hope when this war's over, you know, my old friend who's on a long mission can come back. And he was thinking of Kabuto. At that time, I'm like, Kabuto, you have somebody, you have people who care about you, the people of your orphanage, and you're doing all this for the wrong reasons. And I just really felt really sad for him. The fact that, you know, it could have turned out so differently if he just reanalyzed himself. And Itachi was hinting at the entire battle. He was like, yeah, you know, accept yourself for who you are, not what you're trying to become. And, you know, that was the key. And it's plain, it's simple as day. It's just he's so arrogant and, you know, high and mighty on his pedestal that he doesn't care about that. So, I mean, emotionally, that was definitely the saddest moment for me. I really felt bad for Kabuto and everything that he's gone through. But as at this point, you know, after finding about Izanagi, which that was really good and really informative, it seems that Itachi is going to lift the Edo Tensei, you know, bringing the war closer in the Shinobi Alliance's favor, and that will in turn make him disappear forever as well. And Sasuke's really not on that. You know, he really doesn't want that. He's, you know, expressing himself, you know, his anger towards why is he doing this? Why is he doing this for the Uchiha village? They're the reason why you're in this predicament. They're the reason why you're dead. They're the reason why, you know, all that stuff. But I really loved this episode. I really like this episode. I'm looking forward to the next one as well. You know, Sasuke and Itachi getting their final moments together, how this war is going to turn up. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. If you guys did enjoy this video or my review in general, just be sure to also thumbs up the video if you did, and subscribe if you're new to my channel. I'd really appreciate that well, and I love you guys for that. Thank you guys so much for all your support, and I will catch you guys next week. Thanks a lot. Peace.